Good afternoon, everybody, and Happy New Year. Hope you're doing well. It's Dr. Antonio again from Still Point Ayurveda, and I wanted to connect with you because it's been a while, and this is a great time to connect at the beginning of a new year for many of us that have this tradition of starting a new year. Uh, the topic today is about resetting and sickness at this time of year. And so the first topic regarding sickness that I want to explore is the understanding that, at the winter solstice, which is the point in which the sun is at the lowest point in the northern hemisphere, making it the darkest day, and then subsequent days will increase in lightness and the expansion of light in our day to day with each moment that passes each day. Having an understanding that that is a general reset, that we're coming more out of the darkness and slowly back into the light. And as tradition would hold for many traditions around the world, that the solstice is something that's celebrated and honored with certain rituals and things like that, which happens to coincide with things like Christmas and whatnot. It's understanding in our psyche, in our well-being, in our mind, body, spirit connection, what is our relationship to such things? How do we honor such things? And the understanding that we have the capacity to reflect. Coincidentally, this time of year, according to Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine, this is the time of year as we are entering into January that people become ill. Part of it's because it's post-holiday season. Everyone's been indulging and enjoying all the different luxuries of foods and drink and making merry, which also brings up emotional components, which also then causes this domino effect of wanting to drink more or celebrate more or eat more. And then as the season's transitioning from early winter into later, deeper winter, the qualities in the climate, the atmosphere, the environment are also changing. And digestion is also changing. And we have to understand this is really important in maintaining health within this system of Ayurveda, the scientific framework of Ayurveda. Digestion is the strongest during winter and weakest during summer. And as we are entering the depths of winter and transitioning to more like wet, cold climates, generally, I mean, minus the climate issues on the globe that are very real, apparently to us, as we can see that the weather patterns are not normal anymore and almost unpredictable to a certain point. Again, we have to use our intellect to understand how to adapt these principles, knowing that, well, generally this time of year is when we transition and people become ill. It's from the transitionary points in time of the year, from winter to spring and from spring to summer and then summer into fall, that these junctions are where people become ill. Especially this time of year when it's post-holiday and people are consuming vast amounts of food, inappropriate food combinations at inappropriate times of day, adding in, maybe staying up late for more festivities or just more anxiety, and or adding in alcohol components or other kind of substance uses that tends to increase. And so, of course, sickness will prevail. But it doesn't have to. We can make different choices, and as the new year, for many of us that celebrate January 1st as the first day of the new year, creating not just an intention, but an expansion on bettering ourselves with each day, not requiring it to start on the first day of a new year or Gregorian cycle, but also just knowing that we can begin in any moment. And we let the body be the guide for this process. We let our capacity to make different choices and to stick as much as possible to these choices and decisions, day-to-day follow-up. And so it's important to know that during this transition, we should be mindful of our foods, letting go of the things that we were doing and overindulging if we haven't already felt the consequences of how much we've indulged. And if that is the case, then the ailments would be things like colds or digestive issues. And essentially, a lot of digestion is responsible for good health. So if the digestion's compromised, if the digestive system is compromised, then the rest of the body will follow. It's like the main street of a town that if it becomes inundated or obstructed or just traffic or construction, then the side streets will be inundated with this traffic the digestive system is similar to that, where this is the main street in which food consumption is passing through, digesting, absorbing, assimilating properly, and adding to the nutritional value of all the cells, tissues, and organs that receive this nutrition, ideally. And so we have to understand that this time of year, if digestion is compromised at this point, then more than likely this cause and effect relationship, in Ayurveda we call it karana karya, which is cause and effect. The cause is overeating, staying up late, eating at inappropriate times, incompatibility of food, and drinking too much, drinking inappropriately with food. All these things will create this domino effect. And so it's important to use the body as the guide to see what's present right now, post-holidays, especially with the post-holiday blues, seasonal affective disorders. People are generally more depressed or sad or anxious during these past months and current month and upcoming months. Some of this is definitely based on physiological chemical reactions, which depend on food, nutrition, and the quality thereof. And so we want to understand that there are things that we can do. What can we do? We can schedule an appointment with me as an Ayurvedic doctor here in Philadelphia to navigate through this, because it's going to be slightly different for all of you, or greatly different for all of you, because everyone's living their own life. And my job here is to be of service to the community, which brings me great joy when people are struggling and suffering with their health, and I'm able to support everyone in navigating through this so that they can feel better in the long term and have it be a long-standing, long-term effect. And during these junctions of the year, January and February, it's a really important point that we have to acknowledge. Resetting through cleansing properly, not just quick fixes like liver flushes or kidney flushes or all of these things, where in the long term, according to Ayurvedic science, that actually causes more harm, because the body has to be treated as a whole and not based on just one organ concept. So, all that to say, if you'd like to reset, if you'd like to navigate through illness, especially now, with the 4 different concurrent illnesses like the RSV, the respiratory syncytial virus, flu, COVID, cold, etc., then these are things that we can navigate through more seamlessly, with more ease, with less stress, and more cleanly through the body, so the body doesn't have to deal with as much stress when illness falls upon it. Feel free to private message me and see how you can begin your journey with me today. And it is always a pleasure to connect with you all. And I look forward to hearing from you. And I'll be back with other fun topics to explore and share as tidbits and food for thought. Namaste. Have a great rest of your day.